Hey guys! So today I'm reviewing Ender's Game by Orsen Scott Card. This is the first novel in the Ender saga, which was published back in 1985. And the author then later revised it in 1991, which included grammatical corrections and corrections to the text, one of which was involving the fall of the Soviet Union. The author has also included an introduction where he explains the beginnings of Ender's Game. It actually started as a short story published in an annual, and later Orsen Scott Card decided to further develop the story and created the novel that I now hold in my hands. He also explained that he's had lots of letters from people, be it people in the military who stated that this assigned reading was great because they understood it and they just felt how prominent and important it was to read, as well as students who connected with Ender's character because they are considered brilliant geniuses of their day and nobody really knows how to react to them. I also thought it was interesting the fact that this is actually assigned military reading, so very interesting to find that out. The story of Ender's Game follows a young boy named Andrew Wiggin, nicknamed Ender at a young age. He is currently having his monitor removed, which has been left in for longer than most people. He is 6 years old, and it's a little tough to remove. Later at the end of the school day, a boy named Stiltson comes and gangs up on him with some of his friends, and Ender decides that in order for him to put a stop to this bullying before it gets out of hand, he has to defeat Stiltson, and Ender does, and he continues to go home. When Ender gets there, you find out more information about his family. Ender is a third. His older brother is Peter, and his older sister is Valentine. Peter is a bit of a sadistic brother. He likes to hurt, and he always threatens to kill both of them. And Valentine is more docile and laid back. She really doesn't want to fight, but she's very protective of Ender. Now, Ender is a third, which means that his parents had to get government permission to have him because there's a population law that only allows each couple to have 2 children, which kind of reminds me of the Shadow Children sequence. Anyway, later on, when Ender's parents get home, they're happy to have him back and now have a normal son, but they're also concerned because of the fact that they're not a normal family. They don't have the limited 2. They now have the unique 3. When later that night, a man named Colonel Graff shows up to explain to Ender's parents and Ender himself that he has been accepted to battle school. He has the right to refuse, but once he gets into the vehicle to head off to battle school, he can't refuse. And Ender decides to leave his family behind and go and do this. Now, during this time, Ender is put through isolation, depression, stress, bullying, and just all around unpleasant situations. And this is all what creates the character of Ender. It's quite a bit of a psychological thriller even though there really isn't too much death going on in the novel. But there is that psychological twist because of Ender's character. Everything that they throw at him, curveballs, straight balls, anything, he ends up just being shocked into being able to unravel whatever they've given him to do. Now, 90% of our characters in this novel are under the age of 13. They're all between the ages of 6 and 13 to be exact. And the 10% of the adults are very important to the story. And Orsen Scott Card only put in adults that would further develop the storyline. Now, we meet a lot of kids in this. We meet Ender and Peter and Valentine Wiggin, as I said. We also meet Petra, Dink. We meet Ally, Bean. We just meet some really great characters that connect with Ender in one way or another, and we also see the initiative in all of them, and so does Ender, and they're encouraged either way. The other thing is the fact that all of these characters talk in a very mature voice. Sometimes I found that it worked extremely well, and other times I just felt like I was taking a step back out of the story because of how amazing these characters were, but how mature they were, because it just didn't seem real. Now, this entire story basically takes place in space at the battle school, and if you guys love watching sci-fi, then you will love this book. The only thing is, I think because of the military aspect of it, I need to maybe picture it more. So I'm hopeful that if the movie does a very good representation for the novel, that I will be able to go back and read this again and just have more reading experiences shown to me through the reading of it. Now, one thing with it is there were 2 scenes that just completely blew my mind. The first one has to do when an adult character is introduced and they say his name, and I was just shocked. I wasn't expecting that curveball. The other one was during a battle. Partway through I figured out what was going on, or I thought I did, and then when it was explained what actually happened and I realized I was right, I was just shocked. I couldn't believe that they'd actually done that. Now, the author explains in the introduction that he has written this for 2 people. First off, you have to think while you read this. It's not one that you can just read and have everything laid out for you. You do have to think. The first thing is the fact that the author said if you want to read it and enjoy it, you can. But if you want to read it, dissect it, discuss it, and nitpick and take it apart and everything, then do that as well. Because you can do what you want with this story. He's given you all the tools, they're laid out, you just have to start digging for them. And I thought that was pretty cool, because most authors just lay it right out for you. The last thing I want to talk about is the fact that this could be considered a standalone title due to the fact that I found the last chapter to be a bit more of an epilogue and explain a bit more of what's going to go on with the other books. So overall, I really enjoyed this book, but I feel that I need to read it again at least one more time to fully grasp what's going on before I go on with the series. If you guys have read Ender's Game, please share your thoughts on the novel, positive or negative, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, go and pick up a random book and read. Bye guys.